What's good, y'all? Welcome to another episode of Off the Backboard. And as of today, the NBA play-in tournament is officially upon us. After all of the drama with seeding, teams not knowing where they were going to be up until the last day of the regular season, it is finally here for all of us to enjoy. And today, I'm going to be breaking down my play-in tournament predictions. So without further ado, let's get right into today's video. Getting started with the Eastern Conference play-in, we're going to have the 9 and the 10 seed Chicago Bulls and Atlanta Hawks competing for that 8 seed. But if I'm being honest here, I'm not going to spend too much time on this series besides to say that I don't think that either of these teams should be here. Now, of course, I think that the play-in tournament is amazing. Adam Silver absolutely cooked with this concept. But I feel like teams that are below 500 for the whole season just shouldn't have the opportunity to compete for a playoff spot. We've obviously seen the entire season that they're not up to par with these other teams. And in my opinion, it just kind of feels like a bit of a waste of time because we know whoever wins the 7-8 matchup is just going to wash whoever wins this one. But let me know in the comments down below what you think of that. But getting right into the 7-8 matchup with the Philadelphia 76ers and the Miami Heat, this is where I feel like things get a little bit more interesting. Just because the Miami Heat, as we all know, they made it to the finals out of the 8 seed this last year. I'm not expecting another Cinderella run like that from them again. But at the same time, you can't, put them out of the picture completely. I know that they're missing Tyler Herro still, but they have the addition of Terry Rozier. They picked up Jaime Jaquez Jr. in the draft, and he's been amazing for them. They, of course, still have Jimmy Butler, who just turns into a whole different beast in the playoffs. But for the sole fact that they have Joel Embiid on their team, I have to go with the Philadelphia 76ers on this one. Up until he had come back from getting injured, he had more points than minutes in the regular season. Simply put, when he's on the court, he's just unstoppable. And I know that the Miami Heat have Bam Adebayo, and he matches up well with him on defense, but he matches up well, but there's just simply no stopping Joel Embiid. And I feel in a one-game elimination, that's all it's going to take from the 76ers to take that game against Miami. So I'm going to have the Philadelphia 76ers taking that first game against the Miami Heat to move into the 7th seed. And then I'm going to have the Miami Heat beating whether it be the Atlanta Hawks or the Chicago Bulls. I don't see either of those teams beating the Miami Heat in a single game elimination. So the Heat will slide into the 8th seed, and that's how that playoff bracket's going to look for the Eastern Conference. Now, getting into the Western Conference playoffs, this is, of course, where things get way more exciting because I know that we've only had the play-in tournament available for the past couple of years, but this is easily going to be the best play-in tournament we've ever seen, at least on the west side of things. Because 9-10, you have the Warriors and the Kings. And this has formed into kind of a rivalry. I feel like they've played each other like 17 times in the last season or so. But for this matchup, I'm going to have to go the Sacramento Kings. Now, I know that the Warriors are probably the favorite to take this game simply just because of the experience and it being a one-game elimination. But with how shaky they've been looking this whole year and the only offensive option that they have being a 36-year-old Stephen Curry, and don't get me wrong, I know that Steph is still doing Steph things, but at the end of the day, he's their only option offensively. It's really hard to pick the Warriors to come out of this one, especially when the Kings have guys like Domantas Sabonis, who's been playing amazing this year, almost a 20-point triple-double, doesn't get talked about enough. They have guys like Malik Monk, who's probably going to be the 6th man of the year. Kevin Huerter's been playing amazing for them. They, of course, have the main engine to their offense, De'Aaron Fox. It's going to be really hard to get this Kings team out in a one-game elimination. And I just don't think that the Warriors have the firepower to do that anymore. And getting into this 7-8 matchup out west, we're, of course, going to have the New Orleans Pelicans and the Los Angeles Lakers. And for a lot of fans, this might not be as easy a decision as I made it, but I took the Los Angeles Lakers pretty easily. They, of course, beat the New Orleans Pelicans in the in-season tournament this year. That was another one-game elimination. They just beat the Pelicans for the final game of the season. And a big reason for me is just going to be Brandon Ingram. I know that the injury that he sustained was just a really deep bone bruise or something like that. but he just barely came back from that injury for the last game of the season against the Los Angeles Lakers and only played 23 minutes. Willie Green said that he's going to be on a minutes restriction coming back from this injury. I'm not sure if that's going to roll into the play-in or playoffs if they do end up making it, but that is a big concern for the New Orleans Pelicans because you need your number 1 and 2 guys in Zion Williamson and Brandon Ingram to be 100% to hope to get LeBron out in a single game elimination. So with the Lakers moving on from that, they are of course going to take the 7th seed out west. Now for this 8 seed matchup, the New Orleans Pelicans and the Sacramento Kings, again, I'm going to have to give this one to the Kings just simply based off Brandon Ingram's health. He's been amazing for them this year. I know that they have Big Z, but down the stretch of games, Brandon Ingram has been their number 1 option, clutch shot maker, and not having that in a one-game elimination is just scary. So that's why I have the New Orleans Pelicans beating the Sacramento Kings to take the 8 seed out west, but let me know what you think in the comments down below. And that is going to do it for me, y'all. I just want to say thank you so much for watching today's video if you've made it this far. And I just want to apologize if my voice sounds a little bit weird. I've been really sick this past couple of weeks and I'm just barely starting to get my voice back. But you know, I had to push through and get a video out because the playoffs are finally upon us. So be sure to drop your playoff predictions in the comments, who you think is taking it all, who you think is going to win the play-in tournament. As well as just drop a like and subscribe if you enjoy this kind of content, as I am dropping weekly NBA content. But again, I'm about to get out of here. Thank you so much for watching today's video again. Peace.